My husband has always been a very loving husband and worked all his life and did everything he could do to. We lived a good life. We went everywhere together. We went on trips every year. We went to Tennessee and enjoyed a few weeks there. And everything has changed so much, everything. And he wants to come home sometimes. He'll beg to come home. And I have to tell him he has a disease that I can't take care of him anymore. It seemed to run in his family. His uncle had it and his brother had it. Now, my husband is 70 years old, and we found out 5 years ago that he had dementia. And it's got to the point now, I looked after him at home as long as I could, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And he's in the behavioral dementia part in Quinte Healthcare here in Belleville, but he's just waiting for a room in a nursing home. And after you've been married for 51 years and all of a sudden your husband's gone, always been doing everything we did together. I love him to the end of the time. And after 51 years and then you're apart, it's very, very hard on me and the family. We hope he gets a room in a nursing home soon, because in the area where he is, only my son and I can go and see him, and we can't go together, and we have to make appointments way ahead of time. And if he was in a nursing home and could get settled in there, then at least we could go and see him when we want. I just want people to know it's a horrible, horrible thing. I would never wish that on anyone, to have dementia. It can affect you in so many different ways. And I have to realize that's not my husband anymore. It's a shell of my husband. It's not him. It just, so many things have changed in our lives. And I'm left here alone and just have to go on. It's to start a new life, I guess, after my husband's in the nursing home. That's what they tell me. I have had so much help from the Alzheimer's, Providence Care here in Belleville, and the Lynn. They have helped, and I've done everything I can do. I'm paying now for my husband to be in the hospital, but the government does help a little bit because he didn't have such a big income. But I don't know what else I can say. It's very sad and a horrible, horrible thing to have. At first, David was very good with me and cooperative, and then he got to the point where when I was putting the Depends on him, I'd touch his leg just to know which foot to put through, I'd tell him, and he'd push me away. He'd push me away. He thought I was hurting him, and I wasn't. There were times when we'd get him ready. My son would shower him. We'd be all ready to go out and take him out or something, and then he did number two in his pants, and we had to clean him all up to go out. I lived a life that I've never lived before when he was at home in the end. Okay, I couldn't get him to the bathroom in time, and I'd put a soap container, cut the lid off the part, and have it by the bed so he could go right there if he had to go. But it was usually all the way out to the bathroom, all across my kitchen floor, and I had the little dog to worry about. I didn't want him getting in the messes. And it was a horrible thing to live with. The police brought him home one day. He had went out and walked down the middle of the street with one slipper and one shoe on in his pajamas, and he knew enough. When I followed them home, a lady down the street called me, and he knew enough to point what house he lived in, but they said I had caregiver burnout, they called it. And that's when I really decided that he needed 24-hour care, which I was providing for him, but it was the work involved with that 24-hour care. I just couldn't do it anymore. And I had to think about my own health. A lot of people said I was a different person after he went in the hospital. And I did have kind of relief. I hated to see him go, but I had relief that I knew he was in where he couldn't get himself in any trouble, and he was safe in there, and they knew how to look after him. And I could sleep through the night. He had a chair in the corner he always sat in, and it was just full of burn holes. And when he went to the hospital, I couldn't wait to get it out of here. And the foam in the bottom was about that thick, and the one cigarette had gone right through that. So we were so close to having a fire. It was scary. He had to take all the knives we had, any butcher knives, anything like that out of here. And he had a collection of, what were they called? Bayonets. He had a collection of them. I had to have my son take them to his place because one day he was holding one to his chest and he was going to try and commit suicide. Well, I found a bayonet hidden beside the bed, and I'm wondering, what did he plan on doing with that? You don't know, because he could have been going to kill me. You don't know for sure when his mind wasn't right. So there was a lot of things like that too that you just have to think about. And he never ate the same things.